Hey, so I am recording a couple games against Vanifer Pod. So I played Vanifer Pod against Vanifer Pod for my last 5-0, and I had some of the most obscene draws I've ever seen. So here we go. We play a Misty. He plays a Birds. We're just gonna set up an Opt, probably off a Water Grave. We are not really scared of him, and we really want to find a Growth Spiral. Our life total is really not under enough pressure in this game, so we really don't care. So here is a punt from him. So he's going to play a Scrib, and then he's going to Zealous my Water Grave. There is a line that I've never actually seen come up in a real game where you can Zealous my Forest and then Scrib it back to my hand as a Stone Rain. So I guess that's a thing, but he doesn't see it, and that's great. So I Growth Spiral a land, I fetch a land, I untap. I play Wilderness Reclamation for free. I untap my lands, and now it looks like I have Cryptic, but I only have Teachings. So it's hard for him to jam on me like a Kiki or something. So he's just gonna keep beating me down. But because he doesn't jam on me, I just Teachings him. I go get Nexus of Fate. I draw the Blue Sun, which is absurd, and now I have 10 mana on my end step. So we're just going to Nexus, and then we're going to Snap Opt. And then on my next turn, I'm going to probably Blue Sun for 1,000,000. So, Nexus, Snap Opt. Draw Nexus, which is completely unreasonable, because now I don't have to use mana to find it. Draw a Field for every land in my deck is triple land at this point. Tap for literally no reason, because it doesn't matter. But if we find another snap, if we start taking a turn loop, we want him to not have blockers. So, Nexus, and then with our floating 6 mana, or with our floating 10 mana, we're going to Blue Sun myself for 10. And then we have a Teachings for either another Teachings. So at this point we can Teachings for Teachings, and Teachings for Nexus, and he's just going to die as I slowly take infinite turns on him, and the Blue Sun, whenever that shows up, is going to pick up my deck. And if I ever find a window to if I ever find a window where I can Mystical Teachings on top of that, I can just go get the Blue Sun and keep drawing my deck until it's only Blue Sun and Nexus, and then just kill him, so he's dead. So he scoops. Game 2. So if you're not a believer, maybe this will help. So we have Growth Spiral into Wilderness, which is the most obscene hand this deck can have, basically. So he's going to have turn 3 Vanifer. Draw Remand. We don't really care. You'd think it would be good to remand his 4 CMC play, but this way I can Growth Spiral into Wilderness Rec, get that on the battlefield, and then untap and downfall it. So things are looking really good, unless he has like Knight of Autumn here. Or a Rec Sage. He doesn't have white mana, so I'm not worried about Knight of Autumn. And I think it's just worth it if he uses his turn to Rec Sage me. I still have a completely reasonable hand to play a fair game. He costs Glenelendra, and I really don't like that card. But he doesn't have another blue, so we're just going to get it off the battlefield and play the tempo game. We're going to Teachings for Cryptic, and we're going to trade 8 mana for his 4. But we're just going to try to buy time. Get more lands, and now that we have the Blue Sun, we just need a window to Blue Sun ourselves, and we're gonna win the game. We're also approaching the Teachings for Nexus turns with the flashback, so we don't do anything too powerful here, but we're just gonna Teachings for another Cryptic, and we're gonna bounce his Glenelendra to his hand, and then we're gonna remand the Glenelendra on the way back down. And maybe this will give us a window to the Blue Sun. So that's fine. He plays lane, plays Glenelendra again. We draw the Nexus, and that will just kill him at this point. So, go to end step. We tap all of our lands. Cast Nexus. Bounce that thing. Untap. We're just going to Blue Sun myself for not too much, but just enough to get ahead. So, we'll still like nice midi Blue Sun for 4, because I don't think our hand can lose with these remands in it. And then we're just going to fire off a bunch of fatal pushes at him. And he has to beat our stocked hand, and we can go off again with Mystical Teachings. So he tries to play this nonsense card, which is a nonsense card, and he gets remanded. And we're going to attack him, and at this point, we can just Teachings for some combination of Blue Sun and Nexus, or Mystical Teachings for more Mystical Teachings. It really does not matter. It might take me a while to kill him from his board state if he did not concede, but the fact that I can Teachings for Blue Sun and then Blue Sun myself is just kind of absurd. So he's dead, and that is the end of that game.